Open up your mouth, pumpkin.
Last time I heard, the farmer was in the Dell, not Uganda. Civil affairs soldiers fight terrorism by getting knee-deep in cow pie. E-I-E-I. Oh. Resistance is futile. I talked to one soldier that has the fists of fury and teaches soldiers with great combative powers comes great responsibility.
He's resisting. He's not cooperating.
Resisting? I'm not resisting. The battle dress uniform, like the jean jacket, faded jeans, and the ascot, is now out of fashion. So farewell olive drab green and hello onion drab gray Army combat uniform. Your stimulus package starts right now. You're in the sight picture right here, right now.
I can load your next magazine, get you a good sight picture.
Today's forecast at Fort Snelling, Minnesota, we're mostly sunny with the high of 15 degrees with the lovely low of -2. In layman's terms, it's cold. Hi, I'm Sergeant First Class Chris Farley, and I know I'm a poor excuse for your local weatherman, but instead, I'm giving you the polar opposite visualization of an intro into our next story that takes place on the un-Siberian cold continent of Africa.
Open up your mouth, pumpkin.
If you've ever been to a farm or petting zoo, you'll never forget the pungent animal aroma that comes with the visit. As bad as this stench is, this aromatic smell here in northern Uganda smells more like victory for these civil affairs warrior citizens fighting the global war on terror. This CA victory is obtained through preventive medicine that can prevent disease in a country that lacks the assets to cure the problem. The functional specialty team from the 350th CA Command and Ugandan veterinarian teams will vaccinate and treat every animal present at this vet camp.
Well, we inject the animals, we treat them for worms, deworm them, and other sorts of diseases they have, skin diseases, so on and so forth. Do the chickens, do the goats, ivermectin, and basic stuff.
You can just leave him here if you want.
This one is mine.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. We'll inject him right here if you want to. You don't even have to untie him.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Uganda is another battleground the Army Reserve has a stake in fighting the global war on terror. But this fight isn't being fought with bullets. Instead, it's being fought with diplomacy and humanitarian relief.
Being able to show them that there is a better side of things. Most of the folks we're working with here are refugees from previous insurgencies, and things that they're having to deal with is they're used to not having help, and if they do, it's something that is foreign to them.
Cattle in this district of Uganda were dying of trypanosomiasis at an alarming rate. Ugandan government officials had a plan to vaccinate the animals, but lacked the resources.
The people here in Uganda appreciate what we're doing, and they're very well trained. They just need some resources, and what we provide is resources. This is really Ugandan's project. They had the idea for the project, and we're just supporting them.
This is why I like my
The 350th CA Command under the CJTF HOA mission is to find and support animal health projects in its area of operations.
Interest that we've seen and the way that we've been received here and the numbers that we're seeing tells me that it is quite important to them. It's their livelihood, really. It's the ticket for them to get out of the IDP camp, get back to their original village, and be self-sustaining on their own instead of having to rely on the camp to provide all of the food and water and other things that they need to live.
The vet camps run by the 350th and the Ugandan government will increase the quality of life for these displaced people from their previous insurgents. This in turn undermines the condition that extremists use to exploit for their political gain.
Highly skilled labor here.
At the end of the vet camp, the 350th and the Ugandan veterinarian teams had handled, treated, and counted over 30,000 animals. These soldiers probably didn't enjoy the smell of animals in the morning, but at the end of the vet camp and a successful mission, it certainly smelled like victory. Reporting from Uganda for the Sight Picture, I'm Sergeant First Class Chris Farley. Quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand, grasshopper. Okay, I wasn't ready. Never mind. Combative has transformed how soldiers lay the smackdown on attackers without having to resort to lethal force. Major Scott Schrader from the 416th Theater Engineer Command teaches a form of martial arts that's actually more embarrassing for me to pronounce. But he's got the moves to make your aggressor say uncle first by just using a couple fingers or exploiting pressure points. So sit back, watch, or I'll sweep the leg, Johnny.
The move goes like this. I see the back of the hand, and I take him down.
This isn't your typical combative session. Instead, Major Scott Schrader is teaching these military police, or MPs, a clinic of
Kyushu Jiu-Jitsu, Ryukyu Kempo, small circle Jiu-Jitsu techniques.
Say what?
Kyushu Jiu-Jitsu, Ryukyu Kempo, small circle Jiu-Jitsu techniques.
During Pacific Warrior held at Camp Robertson, California, Schrader taught MPs an overlay of martial arts techniques that can effectively neutralize an enemy with minimum force for maximum control.
The purpose of the class is not to hurt them, not to injure them, not to knock them out, not to traumatize them. It's basically to open up a layer of knowledge that is an overlay to what they already have.
With warrior citizens deploying to the front lines in the global war on terrorism, MPs especially are leading center stage with a greater possibility of using physical force offensively and defensively. Schrader teaches these soldiers the moves to tap out their opponent humanely and responsibly.
They need to clearly understand that it is their level of maturity, their level of professionalism, their level of discipline. They're being responsible for their actions that is vital to the success of the military and the chain of command, because irregardless of what they think, their leadership is still responsible for their actions.
Schrader advocates technique, not strength. He teaches and proves by hands-on training it's not a matter of how hard, fast, or violent you can immobilize your opponent. It's how subtle, with little effort, you can gain the upper hand.
This filled in so many different gaps of the martial arts that's taught on the civilian side that it was beyond belief.
It wasn't about painting the fence or learning how to wax on, wax off. It was about learning restraint and non-lethal techniques to be used out in the field. Reporting for the Side Picture, I'm Sergeant First Class Chris Farley.